You're consuming propaganda without even knowing it. Texas Climate Denial Edition.
Not every tragedy is preventable. You do the best that you can.
That's Ben Shapiro. He's an employee of fracking billionaires Dan and Ferris Wilks, who founded the Daily Wire expressly to push climate change denialism into the mainstream. After tragedy struck on July 4th, journalists are asking accountability questions about the role that climate change played as the Trump administration decimates climate research. But because they're paid by billionaires to deny the impact of climate change, MAGA influencers and politicians are calling essential accountability journalism a bias smear campaign. But really, they're the ones politicizing this tragedy based on the biases of their fossil fuel bosses. Journalists aren't exploiting the death of children, they're trying to prevent it by warning the public of the dangers of climate change.
Climate change is basically that last, but why did this happen?
But fossil fuel billionaires hate climate change action, so here's their employee distracting you from the real reason for this tragedy. It's narrative control, classic Darvo stuff. What's Darvo? It's a rhetorical strategy that stands for deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender.
Immediately, the media spin into it must be the Republican president's fault.
In the wake of every tragedy, one of the things that's predictable is that you see some people engaging in, I think, partisan games and trying to blame their political opponents for a natural disaster.
That's Ted Cruz, U.S. Senator from Texas, attacking reporters just for doing their jobs. Cruz's campaign committees have directly received approximately $4.8 million from oil and gas industry sources since 1990. And in 2015 and 2016, a Cruz-supporting super PAC received $15 million from, you guessed it, the Wilks brothers.
You see that with a hurricane, with a tornado, with a wildfire, with this flooding where people immediately say, well, the hurricane is Donald Trump's fault. This is not a time for partisan finger pointing and attacks.
Fossil fuel billionaires hate climate change action, and so here's an employee of fossil fuel billionaires distracting you from the real reason for this tragedy.
Wind energy is a joke. It sucks, and all those wind turbines all over our beautiful oceans are killing whales. They're unsightly, they're ugly, they're ruining some of the most beautiful coastlines in America.
That's Megyn Kelly, whose podcast is owned by Fox News founder Rupert Murdoch. Murdoch sits on the advisory board of Genie Energy and has a financial stake in its oil and shale ventures in both Colorado and Israel. Here's Megyn when she worked at Fox doing a puff piece on another fossil fuel billionaire, Charles Koch.
Charles Koch is the sixth richest man in the country. We'll find out why he's willing to risk everything, even his personal safety, to make the country better for everyone.
We don't attack journalists when they expose the presence of lead in the water or the crumbling bridge in town, so why would we attack them when they're doing the same job of holding leaders to account for climate infrastructure failures that lead to mass death? Because the employees of fossil fuel billionaires get us to think that way.
What about the scientists who say it's worse than ever?
You'd have to show me the scientists because they have a very big political agenda.
MAGA is turning basic public accountability journalism into a fake culture war on behalf of their bosses. Any way you slice it, it's propaganda.